Check. Come on. Check. 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 Check.
This is my roommate too. That's crazy. She just talked about that. She was the one that held it down with me back when I asked her. My mom is like a lawyer or whatever. It's the one that we shared a room. And she used to have her boyfriend and everything. And she, but I just be like, trying to do all that. I'll be like, nothing. But they were so nice.
Chandler, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, cool. I'm just going to go to the Yahoo link, the live dot, and just make sure that's working. All right. And anytime we want to make you solo, we can do that. Solo layout and switch over to whoever else we want to switch over to. All right, so I guess we'll wait a few more minutes before we get started and we'll just jump into it. Remember, everyone else should be on live.recn.us. That's where all the students should come in.
Hey, Steve, you just waiting for the Wi-Fi to load?
Yeah, real estate community network. Yeah. 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 One thing I didn't count on was the feedback of what you guys are going to hear. Next time I'll put you in the other room. Roger, next time I'm just going to I'll give you guys your own headphones. Check. 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 That's the feedback no matter what I do. Check. All right. We think we're ready to go live?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I haven't seen Mike yet.
Grant's still
We'll
loading up.
All right. So, welcome everybody. Let me just switch the system over to displaying the computer. Nope, that's this one. There we go. All right, so the first thing we want to cover, just slide this a little bit over a little bit, is the JV agreement that everyone should have received. And again, we're still kind of refining the technology of it.
Hey, Steve, it still says, they texted me and said it still says waiting for host to start meeting.
Have them restart, have them reload their thing. For some reason, it doesn't automatically reload. But I'm monitoring it here, so. Leave you up on primary so everyone recognizes you. You just do a reload too here on the. I've got one computer monitoring the whole scene. Oh, that could be here. All right.
Ugh.
Okay, so hopefully everyone's online. If you see anybody who's having trouble, just have them reload their stream. Right now, we are live at this point. And so I'm just putting everything out. The little layout.
I don't hear nothing.
You can't hear it?
Hmm.
That's interesting.
Check 1, 2.
Chandler, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can.
All right, that's interesting. Actually, I'm just going to dispense with the. I'm going to pretty much dispense with the showing of our faces right now. I'm still playing around with the software. Okay, so welcome to our second training, but probably first official training. Mike, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
And let me just switch over and make sure that the people in. I'm just switching over to make sure the people in YouTube land can hear us. Yep, that seems to be working. All right, everybody here?
Yep.
All right. So, Chandler, just verify that everybody's good on YouTube, okay?
Seems like it, yeah. I think so.
All right, cool. So let me just get us over to, this is the JV agreement, which I'll zoom in a little more in case anybody needs to see it. But you should have all received this by email. We have two people live in the room. You guys, it's been sent to you. You'll get it when you get home. So JV agreement between our company and you guys are party too. When you get your agreement, there'll be a text field there. You put your name in the text field. Define, research, purchase, put under contract, flip, rent, wholesale, basically to help us find properties and close deals. That's the purpose of what we're doing. The breakdown of the payment is depending on what you do, how much you make. You make more, the more you're involved. And pretty much we're starting everybody off, except for a few people who've been with us for a while, 10%, and we'll move you up as your skills allow. Frankly, it's your skills allow you to take some load off of us, we can raise the percentage. Disclosures, some of us are licensed real estate agents, some of us are brokers. If you have your license and the deal ends up going listing, we can pay you. Most of what we're doing has nothing to do with your license. You don't need it, but it's always a good additional exit strategy. If you have any questions, pop them into the text of the Yahoo chat, or not Yahoo, the YouTube chat. And you can always email us, steve@gpghrealty.com, or you can call us. Mine is 570-798-7051. Anybody have any questions on that part?
Grandson.
All right, so if you didn't get the email, then send us a message. I only had 12 people in the sign-up form who were who signed up to be here, so I only had 12 people to send the message to. So if you have any questions, we can just text us, we can resend you the link, you can get signed up, and we can get you all the forms. So as long as everyone's good with that, we're going to move over to the actual meat of what we're doing. The first step of what we're trying to accomplish is we want to get in front of people who own property, basically. Yes, we also want buyers. That's the first question people always ask is, yeah, we want buyers. But it's very hard to gather buyers if you don't have deals. So everyone talks about reverse wholesaling, which is find a buyer and shop for that buyer. Makes perfect sense, except, and I have done this a number of times in my life. In fact, I just ran into a guy in the supermarket who wants me to shop for him and find him deals. The problem is the pigeonhole of what he wants is extremely tight and frankly doesn't come up that often. So the time between me getting his information, getting him something he wants, he might have already closed with somebody else. So reverse is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. If we find an interested, valid buyer, there's no problem. But the method those of us on the call prefer is find the seller. Wow, that's a really fat pen there. Let's see if we can get a thinner pen. Oh, of course. What we're usually teaching is seller first, then market, then buyer. I'm going to switch to the other display.
Yeah.
Something's up with the pen here.
You got fat fingers, Steve.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the heck I just did, but oh, that would help. Anyway, all right. So what we talk about here in this business is being able to type. So we want to find that motivated seller. And the way we go about finding that motivated seller is through a whole bunch of different options. As we discussed last week, the easiest starting place you can get is to go and build a business Facebook page, Instagram, blah, 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 and let people know you are in real estate investing. Tell your friends, your family, your circle, hey, you want to make $250 in 5 minutes? Mention to me to someone that wants to sell a property. We're going to go through a whole bunch of other training methods tonight of how to find sellers. But that is very often the easiest and quickest one to start with.
Through friends and family.
Yep. Your friends and family, and get them started on helping you find property. The second thing you want to do is you want to got to all of the Facebook or whatever. I'll use Facebook as the victim most of the time. Groups for towns in your area, meaning Luzerne County Chit Chat and whatever the living else there is in your community where the little local townies whine about stuff. And you want to let them know. Same deal. It's all about letting people know that you are available, you want to buy from them, whatever. So that's the first thing you want to be doing across the board. The first thing is you want to be letting the public know. Then, once you've done that, you want to start seeking opportunities. I probably skipped one by saying that, of course, you're looking at Marketplace, you're looking at Zillow, you're looking at Craigslist and all the other places and seeing people who are offering for sale by owners. That is probably number 2, is different things that for sale by owner. And that's probably one of the most easiest ones too. But realize we are still in many markets in a seller's market mode. So a lot of these people are looking for the retail price. That's fine. We weed through them. But if you find a for sale by owner, you find a Zillow property, you find another good one is a single family property with a for rent sign. You find anything like that, you call them. Because the one thing you know about a single family with a for rent sign is they're not making any money. So you let the public know about you. You're contacting for sale by owners. You do not contact MLS properties. No realtors, no listeds, nothing. They have an agent. We can wholesale, MLS, but it's much more difficult and complicated and really doesn't work out terribly well. There are certain ways it can be done, but most realtors will shoot down a wholesaler. So then, third, this is where you start marketing. And there are several ways to start marketing. There's, first of all, you need business cards day one. And you don't leave any conversation without giving whoever a card. And again, letting them know. You have on your card something which will tell them that you buy property, tell them that you pay finder's fees, and tell them that you make cash offers really easy. We have card designs we can show you. We can get you started with that. On your business card is a fake number, Google Voice or some other form of number. This becomes your business number. And you may end up with a few of them. I have, I think, 6. One of them is for your business card. That is pretty much your primary business line. Your other one that you need is your throwaway. Your one for your bandit signs, the ones for your mailers, the ones for your things that are going to annoy people. Mailers, a gray area. But the ones for your flyers, the ones you think people might be angry by, so you can bail on it. You have an email address and your socials and all that stuff. You have to have all that stuff. And again, this is not your personal show. This is your business show. So this isn't the page with your family and your baby daddy and all the other dramas. This is the, I know everything about real estate, I'm your resource. Especially in a more conservative community, what's on your Facebook, what's on your email is going to impact whether or not people want to talk to you. So you want to try to keep it separate. So once you have your Google Voice or whatever, once you have your email and your social media and you've generated a business card, then once I figure out why this won't delete. There we go. Then we talk about the next form of advertising that most people do. And we're going to go through a bunch of different marketing techniques today, and we're going to show you a few of them. Bandit signs are everyone's favorite thing to love and hate. They are called bandit signs because most communities find them to be illegal or at best gray area. You're putting your advertising in a place you don't own, side of the street, telephone pole, whatever. Very often people find it unsightly, very often people whatever. This is where your throwaway number goes. Are they not loved? Yes. Are they extremely successful? In many markets, yes. And you possibly even want to go so far as getting stickers for your car, magnets, whatever, with that same information. And then parking that car conveniently and leaving it as long as you can at Lowe's, Home Depot, the collections office, the county courthouse, places where it can be seen, and especially places where people are motivated or desperate. So a bandit sign should be very simple and to the point. Think about a billboard. You have 3 seconds to get their attention. Cash for houses. Phone number, and if you have one, a web. That's it. Mike's is a great example. WeBuyNipaHomes.com. we've got two lines on it. It's got cash for houses, some equivalent, WeBuyNipaHomes.com, and a phone number. That's it.
That's it. And they call.
Yep. And you just punch that out. And really, that's all your marketing business card needs to have as well. Because I don't leave a gas station. I don't leave anything without sticking a couple cards behind me. That credit card slot on the gas station pump holds a couple holds a couple business cards. You put your business card in there, the next person has to touch it. Guaranteed. They might throw it away, they might love it. Who knows? You go to a shopping center, you put out 1,000 flyers on cars or whatever. Same thing. They have to touch it, or most likely will touch it when they drive away. And you want it to be a quick reaction. They know what you're there for. Some of the things that we will put sometimes on longer form advertising is things like no fee, no cost, no fee, no closing cost, no realtor commission. If it's a flyer or something, that's fine. If it's a bandit sign or a business card, keep it very simple, at least on the front side. Backside of a bandit sign, backside of a business card, whatever the heck you want to do.
Yeah, because on the bandit sign, like you said before, they have 3 seconds to read it.
Yep.
So it's got to be, we buy houses for cash, a phone number, a website, and that is it. We go into a lot more detail if it's a flyer, or if I'm making advertisement for social media. They could read, hey, it's free closing, we pay all bills, leave your garbage, whatever you want to put in there. But bandit signs, billboards, anything that someone's driving 100 miles by, they only have a few seconds to look at it.
Yep.
So the main thing is really, we buy homes for cash,
Yeah, I mean, there is nothing too simple when it comes to those.
And
you
actually,
always want to make it easy.
I don't even use them anymore. I have them. I have probably a few hundred in my garage, right?
Yeah.
But me and Steve have changed what we do, but don't get me wrong, I'll still put a bandit sign down. But yeah, it's kind of funny because when people call us, they're like, oh, I saw your yellow sign. They never saw my yellow sign, but they saw that sign when they were driving. It says, hey, we buy homes for cash. They went and typed it on Google and found me, and then they called me.
Yep. And the bigger visibility you have, the more likely they are to think you're everything. So with your social media, you want to be giving information, giving helpful tips, talking about real estate, becoming visible as the source of material. One of the things we'll do is we'll provide you with things you can use. You can take the stuff right off our Facebooks, repurpose it, repost it, rewrite it, whatever.
They could even go to any one of our websites we own. And like if you went to WeBuyNEPAHomes.com, I have a blog section there that you could actually take those blogs and repost it on Facebook. And exactly. I have new blogs all the time. You just want to put out information. Even if you didn't write it, it looks like, hey man, this guy knows what he's talking about. Look at this. He's always posting stuff about, I don't know, tired landlords, going for foreclosure, need to sell fast and for cash. The more you put that stuff up and those people start seeing it, the more they start saying, wow, man, I got a friend on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. I see all the time. And it sticks in their head and they'll call you. Sorry, Steve.
No, my fault. I didn't realize our ladies in the room don't have a speaker. I goofed.
So they can't hear us talk.
They hear me. They don't hear you. So I'm gonna you keep going for a second. I'm going to solve that.
They don't want to hear me. So just with the whole advertising, you know, what Steve was just saying, you got to get some kind of Google phone number or GoDaddy. Some of them are free. Some of them cost you money. I use GoDaddy. I use Open Phone, and I think I pay like $9 a phone line, right? And it works right off my personal cell phone, but I'm not giving them my cell phone number, and I can redirect it to someone else. So I have a few other people that I deal with. So if I don't get it, they can pick up. Bandit signs are okay. Billboards, anything to get out there for free. You know, I would tell all my friends, I tell everyone I run into, hey, if you know anybody, I'm looking to buy houses. I flip houses, I rent them, I want to wholesale them. And they usually don't know what wholesaling is, so you don't really have to get into that with them. Just let them know I buy properties, me and my partners. So between me, Steve, Chandler, Grant, we're buying properties. You know, me and Steve probably, what do we at least wholesaled at least 30 last year. We flipped some, we have rentals, and I think we lost Steve. Steve, you there? Okay. And just so you guys know, Steve is definitely not the best, doesn't have the best handwriting. So yeah, so that's pretty much on the bandit signs. You could run classified ads. You could pay, do paid ads I do paid ads on Facebook, and I get a good response. You could put free stuff on the Facebook marketplace. You can run Google ads, print ads. We said bandit signs. Direct mail is another big one. You guys could create a web page or website. Definitely go check out mine. WeBuyNEPAHomes.com. Trying to think where else I go. I mean, I go to everybody. I talk to my mailman. I have my mailman looking for houses for me, UPS, the gas station, the laundromat. I put them wherever I can, my business card. So I have business cards. I put them everywhere. And trust me, people call, they're just simple. It just says, we buy homes. We buy NEPA homes. I don't know if you could see that. And my phone number and the website. I go to it. My attorney gets me deals. Okay. Trying to think what else. Steve, are you out there? Because I don't have the plan on me here. Okay. So he was talking about. So, Steve, are you just talking about marketing today? Hello, Steven.
Yeah, it looks like Steve's out. Another thing for some of you.
Good. You're there though, so we could talk. Okay.
Yeah, for some of you younger guys, I know we got our team 6 here too. Don't be afraid to use your socials too. I mean, I use Instagram all the time for everything, whether it's personal or if it's on our business page. You can find other tags, you can find other communities that are actively doing this. And there's a lot of people that use socials. There's Instagram, there's Snapchat, and it sounds kind of funny, college students using this to advertise stuff, but it works.
Listen,
So
I use them all. I use them all.
Yeah.
I'll post a video. I'll just say, hey, this is Mike. I buy houses for cash. Reach out to me if you need me. And these people come and buy. I get phone calls all the time. So Facebook's been really good to me because there's a lot of older people on there. But I get out there. I do the TikTok. I do Instagram. I do them all. So that works for me. I mean, Chandler, I don't really know actually what you use. Chandler, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was letting Grant say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think my did you just mute it?
No, you're good.
I mean, like unmute it so I can talk through it.
You are.
Oh, it's unmuted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We could all hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I was just I didn't get Steve didn't let me in. I didn't get permission, so I'm talking through Chandler's. But a really big tool that you could use as well is Instagram. If you set your account as a business account, you could do advertisements that reach literally thousands of people, and you could pay by the day. So if you put in like $5 a day, you could get an outreach of several thousand people very, very easily.
Sure. I do that on Facebook. I use Facebook and Instagram, and I pay $5, $10 a day. I hit 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people.
Yeah, for
Depends.
the outreach, it's very hard to find something else that could reach that many people for
Yeah.
that price.
I definitely recommend everybody go to meetups, go to real estate meetups, start networking with other investors, because that's where you'll get buyers. You know, that's where you'll start to build your list. Me and Steve we do our own meetups, plus we do other people's meetups. Today, I saw a house, Brandon and Thomas from Hazleton. I know they're on somewhere. I can't see who's actually on, but I know they're on. They got us a house. So we went and looked at a house today. And they found this person through PropStream, another great tool. I don't have them to actually talk about it. We'll actually probably get them on next time so they could talk about how they actually found this property. We don't know if we're going to get it, but we met them there today to actually walk through the house. Hey, Grant. We were supposed to meet them. They ran late. This guy looked like he was getting a little antsy, so we had to go ahead of them. So we walked around the whole house. We wanted to show them how do we actually walk through a house. You know, they already got us in the house. They met with the guy once. They looked at the house. They took some pictures. They sent me the pictures. Then we called the gentleman and said, hey, listen, me and my partners want to come and take a better look at the house. So that's what we did today. And we're going to we're running some comps now. We have some pictures. We have some ideas of the house. House needs work. It's a nice big lot. And we'll see. We'll see. So maybe this is one for the wholesale network, which I'm excited. Chandler, you keep muting yourself.
I was letting you talk. Yeah, to add on top of that, you know, if you're going to meetups and if you're going to look at, you know, houses or properties in person, one good thing to do that we've done before is go to open houses. I mean, it sounds kind of funny if you're not going there to buy the house, you know, you can go there and get some experience looking at the houses, and but it's a great way to meet other investors. There's all the time there's investors, cash buyers, motivated sellers, especially at those, you know, trying to network as well. So that's not a bad idea to do either.
Sure. And like when we met Brandon and Thomas today, we were going to really, like, you know, they were going to be able to see how we walked into this house, what questions we asked, how we dealt with the homeowner, you know, and you got to understand when you go into these houses, there's always a different situation. So this guy's situation was, he's an older gentleman. He has diabetes. He's got to go to hospital. There's a whole bunch of stuff. He owned this house for the last 50 years. There's been a tenant there for the last 5 years destroying it. Took him 6 months to get him out. So today, you know, I asked him if he owns it outright. He told me yes. I asked him if he would be willing to own or finance it. He said, no, I want to get out of here. You know, and he also had a realtor there also, but he told the realtor to go. I said, if you book that realtor, you know, why are you going to pay commission? I'm going to pay cash. So he's going to hold off on that realtor for a day or two. And maybe we can come up with a right price tomorrow that he'll bite at. So I'm kind of excited. You know, it needs work, you know, but it'll be a good learning experience for Brandon and Thomas if we could do this. We'll see. I'm excited. The guy, he's definitely motivated. He needs to sell. You know, he doesn't need the cash though. So we'll see how that plays out. And like I said, they use the app PropStream. And I think, Chandler, Grant, do you guys use PropStream or no?
We have used it in the past, but honestly, as of right now, Zillow has been our main go-to for actually finding properties. And then obviously we don't use any of the calculations that Zillow does themselves. We do all the calculations ourselves, you know, calculating ARV and everything like that.
Yeah. And we've been using Redfin a lot too.
Yeah, Redfin's great.
Okay.
Redfin's good for comps because you can find a specific little area on it a little bit better than Zillow. But yeah, like you said earlier, Facebook especially. You know,
so what ways do you use the market yourself? If you guys are marketing for distressed properties,
the way we've done it, so we've ran ads. You know, Facebook, Instagram.
Those are our big ones. Facebook and Instagram have been our most successful ones. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
usually not even a day until we have like a decent bit of people reaching out with it.
Do you guys drive for dollars?
Not really.
Sometimes,
it
yeah.
all depends.
Back at home, we were doing that a little bit, but now we're back over here.
And driving for dollars is when you get in your car, you drive around and look for these abandoned homes. That's really what you're doing. It's free. You drive around, you look around, you type up the address and try to find out who the owner is. And that you can do on PropStream. You can do that rehab value later.
Onyx is a great tool for it too. Onyx is pretty cheap. I think it's like $100 a year. And if you go on, you could actually see the map itself and click on it and see who the property owner is. But one thing that I do want to specify with that is if anybody is looking at a listing and goes to see that there is a person or finds the owner of the property, make sure that it's not listed by an agent, because you'll be committing a crime if you actually reach out to the people who own that property if it's listed by an agent. So only do that if you have an off-market house listed by owner. That's a really big important factor.
Yes. So today, when this person, we saw this, we didn't know what this person was. I thought, he said he was going to have the house appraised. I was just assuming whatever. And then he said, oh, she's a realtor. And we said, oh, you're under contract with her? Because if you are, we're done. And because you can't, if a realtor has the deal, you're not wholesaling that. We could still buy it, but you're not wholesaling it. So that's pretty much just walk away, because they're definitely going to promise crazy price. So the house that we looked at today, walk away. Because they're definitely going to promise crazy price.
Basically,
the crazy price.
Basically, so when we're looking at stuff, we cannot pay what a realtor will offer to sell it for.
The crazy price.
Really what it comes down to. So when we're looking at stuff, we cannot pay what a realtor will offer to sell it for.
The crazy price.
So when we're looking at stuff, we cannot pay what a realtor will offer to sell it for.
Hey, do you hear crazy price?
So when we're looking at stuff, we cannot pay what a realtor will offer to sell it. Is it echoing for you guys?
Hey, do you hear crazy price?
So when we're looking at stuff, we cannot pay what a realtor will offer to sell it. Is it echoing for you guys?
Hey, do you hear crazy price?
I can't tell what the world is hearing. When we're looking at stuff, we cannot pay what a realtor will offer to sell it.
Hey, do you hear crazy price?
You're echoing pretty bad.
You guys cannot pay what a realtor.
Yeah, guys, sorry about that. It looks like Steve's having some technical difficulties. As we said earlier, this is only our second actual meeting. So I'm not sure how long it might take Steve to figure out that issue. But I'm trying to think of where else we could go with this. Mike, did you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think myself too.
Yeah. We could have, I don't know. I was going to say if Steve could email us the rest of what he was doing and maybe one of us could present it, but I'm not familiar with this streaming service.
Yeah, if there's
StreamYard.
Yeah. I mean,
we were just trying to change the platform. That was really about it.
Yeah.
If there's any questions though, I'd like to answer anybody right now live. Done.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to use the chat to actually reach out and ask us all a question. Obviously, Mike, Chandler, and I are still in here, and we can still answer some questions. I'm not sure if Steve will be able to figure that out within a reasonable amount of time. But if anybody has any questions, please feel free.
Yeah, because today we were going to talk about.
Steve will be able to figure that out within a reasonable. If anybody has any questions, please feel free.
Yeah, because today we were going to talk about.
Steve will be able to figure that out within a reasonable.
Steve, that broadcast out is just looping in, man.
Yeah,
today we were going to talk about.
All
right.
Steve, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah. So we were going to talk about marketing today, pretty much. That was the key, Steve said.
Okay.
Yeah, but like he was talking about earlier, you can spend some money on it, but I know some of y'all, you don't necessarily want to spend money on marketing, especially if you don't know how to do it yet. So, don't get shy about the bandit, technique that he was talking about. I mean, there's plenty of ways to do it. You can market it without paying, but you also can. You're going to reach a larger audience, and it really doesn't cost that much. But
No.
Yeah, I mean, for the price, if you want to do something free, like Mike was saying earlier, go ahead and join some Facebook groups. Definitely, that's a big source. And through those, you could even find local investor meetings. And that's actually how Chandler and I were able to meet Mike and Steve and start going with this, because they run an investor meeting. So we went to it. Chandler went the first time, introduced himself, and then obviously the future let us hear. But don't underestimate what talking to people can do. It's actually reaching out and taking the initiative to meet new people, and honestly, even talking to, like Mike would say, your mailman, your neighbor, your mom's friends, your dad's friends. Feel free to reach out to people. Nobody's going to shoot you down for saying you have an idea.
Right. Also, another trick that I do, this is probably one of the biggest ways I market it for free, especially, is apart from running Facebook ads, if you go and join 10, 20 of these groups, okay, and each of these groups, no matter where it's at, like we have one in Philly, we have one in Nashville, there's a ton of them, but you can join them. And let's say for Philly, for instance, I know there's like 45,000 people in it. You can tag at everyone. If you make a comment, or if you make a post, kind of putting yourself out there, you can tag everyone. So there's 45,000 people getting tagged. They're all going to read that, okay? Even if it's a small percentage of that 45,000 that reaches out to you or DMs you or sends you their contacts, that's still a good majority of those people. So that's one good way to do it, especially the groups. I mean, there's a group everywhere. Like he said, Luzerne County, chat, whatever it may be.
Wherever town you're in, you just Google it, real estate meetups, and start meeting other investors, and you'll start talking to them. Hey, the guy will tell you, I only look for multifamily, right? I want 2 or more, no more than 4 units in a building, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just want single family homes. I met a guy today. He wants houses that are falling apart. That's his thing. But the more people you talk to, I tell my friends, hey, I buy houses for cash. So if you hear anybody that has a house that needs to sell fast, maybe they got a family emergency, the house needs more repairs, they're behind on payments, someone has to relocate, they're getting divorced, they're a tired landlord, so they got problems with the tenants, they got an unwanted property, someone passed away, they inherit this house, and they can't take care of their own house, so they got to get rid of it, right? Vacant homes need so much repairs that they can't catch up on it. They just got to get out. They don't like, or maybe they don't like agents and paying commissions. They want no hassle, no headaches. Well, that's all the stuff we could offer these people. So that's why you tell every one of your friends, if you put all that into their head, then they're going to be like, they're going to be at their cousin's house or somebody's house. And someone says, oh man, my uncle just died. We got this house. We don't want it. All of a sudden, ka-ching, your friend's going to say, hey, my friend Chandler, he buys houses. Great. Your friend calls you and you end up buying that house. We kick them back a little money. Right. You made money. He makes money. I mean, it's just word of mouth is probably the best thing.
Right. And like you were just saying earlier, there's people that have, it's a good thing to have a network of people who each have different niches and criteria, because some people aren't going to want a single family. Some people are going to want a 3-4 family property. Some people will buy, things that are burned down. So you really want to get a good combination of everything. So that way you're not missing out on anything at all.
Yep.
It looks like Steve's giving you some prompts there, Mike.
I don't know if that's Chinese.
Yeah, it looks Mandarin to me.
Like free no default prompt.
They got some code violations.
I don't know if that's Chinese.
Free notice.
It looks Mandarin to me.
Free no default prompt.
They got some code violations.
I don't know if that's Chinese.
It looks Mandarin to me.
Free no default
They got some code violations.
I don't know if that's Chinese.
It looks Mandarin to me.
All right, Steve, you got to turn your broadcast out. I don't know what you did, Steve, but you have to mute. That is not working.
Yeah, maybe Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well. Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty
Or
well.
type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could probably explain it pretty well.
Type it in the chat.
Steve, if you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could
Broadcast
probably explain
out
it
has to
pretty
be
well.
muted.
If you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could
Broadcast
probably explain
out
it
has to
pretty
be
well.
muted.
If you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could
Broadcast
probably explain
out
it
has to
pretty
be
well.
muted.
If you want to call one of us and just maybe decode what we've got here, we could
Broadcast. Thank you, Steve. Pre-NOD, pre-notice of default, pre-foreclosure, tax delinquents. So that's what Steve wrote there. Chandler, you still there? Grant?
Yeah, we're still here. No
Okay.
echo.
Sorry, folks, for what's happening. We're going to have to fix this for sure. All right, so the first one is pre-foreclosure. The second one, code violations. 3 is tax delinquents. And the fourth one is driving for dollars. Right? That's what Steve wrote there. So Steve's texting me this. Yeah, so those are pretty much, we didn't do code violations, tax delinquents, but there's just so many different ways to go out there and actually, yeah, as you could see, as we told you, there's so many different ways to get people to reach out to you. And you can do it for free, a lot of the stuff. Chandler?
Yeah, I mean, really, you can, do it for free. I mean, when me and Grant first got started, I can tell you, my first wholesale, I didn't put anything into marketing at all. So, I mean, it's not a bad idea to do it, but it's also not a bad idea to get yourself out there with, no market cost at all, especially, driving for dollars. I can guarantee every one of y'all have been driving around, even in your neighborhood, and seen where it says for sale, whether it's on market or off market. There's always a sign for something.
Is Steve back with us?
I think so.
I think so.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Steve, I like this angle.
All right. So the trick is to not use the broadcast computer to also pick up my audio. All right. So what other marketing ideas did you guys cover while I was gone?
Steve, we gave the book away.
Yeah, basically the main things we went over were Instagram, Facebook groups, and we even brought up the driving for dollars a little bit. But
Yeah.
So when we were driving dollars, we told them to talk to people about family emergencies, house that needs repairs, behind on payments, relocation, divorce, tenants with problems, unwanted properties, inherited properties, vacant homes. So we talked about a lot where you've gone, where you've left us, but we're glad to have you
All right.
back.
So yeah, so sorry about that. Discovered we have. So what I think the next thing that we should cover is when they get a lead. Step one is not necessarily to call the owners. Step one is to fill out our form that I think Chandler has sent around to everybody.
Right. Yeah. Everybody on our team, I wasn't able to get to everybody else, but our team 6 and some of the new kids that we got on here, some of the new team members, I sent that form out, let them know what's happening. And there should already be a handful of properties from what I heard from some of the guys. So, but yeah, definitely fill out that form first so we can get all the details on everything.
Yeah. So you're
And
saying,
then-
Steve, when they get a lead, we want them to call us.
Right.
I mean, call us is great. Fill out the form is probably helpful.
Oh no, fill out the form is definitely better. Fill out the
fill out the form and keep us updated on anything else. If that
after you fill out the form and we look at it, we will contact you. Correct?
Yep,
Right.
exactly. And we will on the next call, on the next Zoom, we will go over how you evaluate a property without being there yet. Now, that does not mean that we're going to wait a week to call them. When you send us a lead, Chandler just mentioned there are some, so I'm looking in there now. But when you send us a lead, we will immediately get in touch with you and start helping you step through the process. Then basically the process boils down to, number one, seeing what the comps are in the area. And that's where it gets to everything you think you've been told is probably untrue. Do not use Zillow, or rather, do not use the Zestimate from Zillow. When you go to Zillow, I was going to Zillow a property in 108 Grove, Wilkes-Barre. Using this one because it happens to be my property. You go to Zillow. Zestimate is always wrong.
I know that house.
Yeah. This might have been worth 125 or 6 years ago. It ain't worth that now. Zestimates are wrong in this market, Northeast PA, by about 30% in whichever direction it feels like. Sometimes too high, some too low. Click behind there and go to sold. And you can draw circles and stuff here and limit the numbers. But if you go over here and you can look at what its other things are, what other things have sold in that neighborhood, where its comps are. First thing with Zillow, mine's a double. Doesn't look like any of these are doubles. So you got to make sure you're talking about the same family of property, singles, multis, whatever. And then you look for one that looks one of two things. Similar in current condition and similar to what will be done when someone dips it in gold and finishes it. So this is not something we're assigning to you up front, but if you want to go there, this is a good place to start.
Yeah, and you could filter also. You could go to home type, and I'm pretty sure there's multifamily under there. You could add how many bedrooms, right? Because that will shrink your filter down.
Yep, exactly.
And to even get it a little bit more close, I didn't hear if one of you said it because obviously I was out for a minute, but also pay attention to how much land it has. If it's in a super compact area, then it's not kind of as big of a deal. But if you're looking out in the country somewhere, you want to make sure that you're not comparing a house that's they're both a 4.2, but one's on 10 acres and one's on 100 acres. It's
Sure.
going to give you different results. So that's another big thing you need to take into account.
Right.
course.
Yeah. And now to add on to something Mike was talking about last meeting, he said, in some places, for instance, I don't really know Philly amazingly well, but I know enough from wholesaling areas or wholesaling properties in that area. The next street over could be different. One block could be different than the other, even though they're so close. Sometimes you don't have to necessarily use the properties on that next street. I mean, sometimes if you can get the properties as close as you can to comp it, it's a lot more better, because properties on another street may be worth a lot more than the properties on the next street over. So it all depends on the market, but that's
Right, and
detail you want to keep in mind.
your goal is typically half mile in the last 6 months
Right.
of sold. Now, like Chandler was saying, something super dense that might shrink down. Rural might shrink, it might go up. When you get into dense communities, or any community, a lack of knowledge is going to kill you. We have Wilkes-Barre borders Plains on one end and borders Kingston on the other end. You might do a half mile circle of something on the edge of Wilkes-Barre. You pick up 30% of Kingston. Well, Kingston's frankly a better town. You didn't know you crossed the line, but all of a sudden you're on the right side of the tracks instead of less than that. So knowing your market is key. And we'll help you walk through that. You can play with all of the Zillow settings, minimum, maximums. You can use the drawing tool, and it gets you in a ballpark. All we're asking you to do right now, all the 10% offering is, all the 10% level is getting deals in the pipeline and letting us help you learn from there. Typically, when we get into pricing with a seller, because the reason we don't want you to call them too fast is because as soon as you talk to them, well, what are you offering? There's two things they're going to ask you up front, neither one of which we're ready for right now. The first thing they're going to ask is, give me a number. Which Mike, Chandler, Grant, and I can kind of sort of ballpark, but we don't like to ballpark. If you're not as experienced, you're going to have trouble doing that. And the most important question they're going to ask is, who are you? And why do I trust you? And that's really where we come into play. You guys are learning the game. You're semi-new to it, whatever. I've been owning property since 1997. Most of you weren't born. And broker, plenty of money to buy a property, makes them feel better about who they're dealing with.
Yes, like today, same thing.
Yeah.
We met that guy that Thomas and Brandon got us, and he's like, throw me a number. Well, I'm not throwing you a number. I said, I have to go and research. I don't want to throw a number. I asked him if he had a number in mind so I could see where we're at, but he doesn't know. He's like, just throw me a number. So Brandon and Thomas, I can't wait to see what this guy says. We'll have a number by tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I just don't give numbers. Sometimes we, hey, listen, we go in, if we do our research, we checked out the comps, we know what things are worth, and I know they want $10,000 for this house that's worth 200. I'm just buying it. So, that's a house we're going to buy.
Right. So he's pretty much saying, you know, we can cherry pick these. There's more than one exit strategy to these.
Yes,
So
with
it
us,
doesn't have to be
with us
just
is on
us.
your team. Now
Right.
that you're on our team, most of you guys, and I don't know, but most of you guys just think you're going to wholesale a deal and get rid of it. Well, maybe we're not wholesaling it.
Right.
Maybe we're going to try to flip this, and we're going to, you know,
It's-
you'll get a little piece of the flip, and it'll be worth more for you, or we might keep it as a rental, or there's so many different exit strategies. You know, we
Right.
could have them owner finance it. That's the
Owner
first thing I
finance
asked
is a
today.
big one.
I asked the guy today, hey, you want owner finance? He didn't want to, but that's fine.
Right.
You know,
You go
or
50-50 on something they're trying to get rid of.
yeah, piece of junk. I mean, garbage. Say, listen, this house, I mean, when there's a bad house, it's a bad house.
Yeah.
Really
We do
gutted,
that
burned
50-50
down.
deal, but a 50-50 deal that we thought a house was worth $500, all of a sudden we got 20, we made 10 and the owner made 10, right? And we
Exactly.
got $10,000 check.
Yep.
And a big thing to add in with that too is, you know, you guys are just starting off. This is going to be a lot of your guys' first time doing anything really within the real estate world. So there's no need to rush with it, because obviously, you know, with wholesaling, you do tend to make money a lot quicker than you would with something like a flip or any
Sure.
other type of, you know, other things that you could do with real estate. But take your time. Make sure that you're getting accurate numbers. If you really want to make the money, you don't want to rush through things. You want to do everything correctly. Make sure you're not screwing over anybody or screwing over yourself, especially. You want to make sure that you're really getting accurate numbers, and that's what, you know, Chandler, Mike, Steven, and I are here for is, you know, reach out for help. Ask us, send us a listing and ask us what we think about it. Ask us, you know, crunch some numbers yourself. Ask us what we think about those numbers and see if we could improve upon that.
Yeah,
Who knows?
the right number is important. You're wasting your time if you're getting the house under contract for $100,000 and the house is worth $100,000. You're wasting your time because that house ain't gonna sell.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, like you just said, that's why we're here, because, you know, some people that are just starting off, they may go in and get a house at 99% ARV, and that's just
Hang on
not
one second.
what you want. You want, you know, anywhere 70 below, because you're not going to make any money on it. You're not going to find a buyer for that property.
Yes.
If you don't know your numbers well enough.
We have to do the 70% rule, meaning if the house is worth 100, we're automatically buying it for 70. Then we're going to minus repairs, right? 20.
You know, on top of that, you really need to kind of, one thing I always tell people, when me and Grant first started, you kind of need to know how flipping a house works while you're getting into this, because then when you're thinking of, you know, finding a buyer or the numbers, especially, you know, there's going to be other little fees, taxes, things like that. So you really want to stick to the, you know, standard of 70% or below, because anything above that, it's not worth your time. You're going to lose a property. You're going to look bad, and you're just wasting everybody's time.
You're not going to sell it. You're just holding it up, right? Now you're wasting your time. Now you got to answer the phone call from the seller all the time. What's going on in my house? When you're closing, right? It becomes annoying.
It does.
Because you got the house, the house is not even going to sell for that much on the MLS, and you put it on the contract for a wholesale deal.
Right.
That's
I just wanted to add in a really big source that I use to start understanding what like rehab costs and actually estimating what the price to flip a house is don't be afraid to watch YouTube videos on house flipping and learning that step of it. It doesn't hurt to be more educated on not things that exactly we're teaching on different steps of it. It's good to know. Obviously, Mike and Steve have probably flipped a million houses together. But so yeah, obviously they're going to know, but look at some YouTube videos, watch some rehab videos, look at different condition properties and what it takes to rehab them, how long it takes, how much money it takes. And that's going to be a really big way that you could get your numbers more accurately. You'll find a better estimate once you get more knowledge on how flipping a house works.
Right. And that's the most important thing. Numbers. Because if we don't have the right numbers, then we're wasting our time, and you're going to be frustrated with yourself if you don't put in the time to actually find accurate numbers, because you're going to get frustrated. You're not going to find a buyer. You're going to be wondering why this is taking so long to close. You know, it's really not worth it. So it's worth the headache of putting in just a little bit more effort to get these numbers more accurate for everybody, because in the end, you're going to be a lot happier about it.
Sure. And me and Steve, we're going to put something together with you guys anyway about, you know, hey, kitchen's 10,000, bathrooms 5,000, flooring $6 a square foot.
Right. There's a lot of factors to keep in mind. I mean, things can cost little or a lot, like a roof, depending on the roof can cost thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why we have a little checklist that we'll be sending around to everybody. And we have a spreadsheet that we can walk you through. The important thing with the numbers and with this spreadsheet is this is about our local market. So
Yes.
we'll adjust it with you for your market. Materials stay somewhat same. Labor
will
not so
change.
much.
Yep.
So
it is what it
when
is.
you're-
But the value of the houses are also different too.
Yeah.
So, you know, a 1,500 square foot house here compared to New York is going to be a $500,000 difference, right?
Right. So different markets call for different things.
I'm paying
Also depends on-
50,000 labor here. I'm paying 150,000 there.
Right. Yeah. It all depends on the type of rehab too. You know, some people go and get, you know, laminate floors, or some people go and get brand new tile in too. So it all depends on that too.
Exactly. And what level, what you're exiting for? Are you exiting for a brand new Las Vegas style flip? Or are you exiting for a rental in Scranton, PA?
Exactly.
But if you're going to sell it for 100,000 as the flipper, not you, but the person who buys it from us, then there's really only 70,000 to play with. That's every dime that person can have in the person in the property.
Yes, with the 70%
So
rule.
Right. If there's 50,000 in repairs, and let's say there's 10,000 in holding, and let's say another 10,000 in buy and sell,
We're getting a house for
let's say
free.
5,000 in wholesale, that's a small number for the seller. 50, 60, 65, 50, 60, 70, 75. This example doesn't work. The seller would owe us $5,000.
Yeah. That's a house, and we come across those houses. That's a house I would do 50-50 with. Hey, listen, your house is really worth nothing. Whenever I sell for, I like to get a half.
Right. Different
Because
strategy.
if we
We don't say it. I don't say it like that, but they understand. Those people usually understand, and they agree. They're like, go ahead. Whatever you get, we split. Okay.
Yep. Now the realtor might come in and say they'll try to sell it for 50. And they might find that buyer who's a weekend warrior, rehabber, whatever. We can't fight that battle.
No,
That's not the guy for us.
Yeah, what we could fight is, we're never going to fight the guy that's going to overpay for garbage, right?
Yeah.
The only good thing they have with us is we have a cash buyer, which that realtor should have a cash buyer, but we say, hey, we have a cash buyer, we could close quick, right? Because this is a house that we're only going to put about 2 weeks into, maybe show it once or twice, and if I don't have somebody, I'm getting rid of it. Those we do open houses. We do open houses on our 50-50s.
Yeah.
Steve, your house looks a lot better now than it does there in those pictures, all right?
Well, sure. Actually,
You redid that place. That's before.
That was before, yeah, absolutely. And that was going to be for next week rather. That's my example for rehab and expenses. What I'm going to pull up now is everybody's favorite dump. I think Mike knows this one.
That's a
So-
silly.
Yeah, here's a house. Yeah, you could tell him, Steve.
So Mike and I were called to this one as a wholesale. We know the neighborhood. It's not a neighborhood we want.
Now, Steve, before we go to that, so we got this investor from an open house selling another property.
Yeah.
So when we do these, so when we get these a wholesale house, we do open houses where we try to get 100 investors there in 1 hour to look at this house. And when these people come in, I'm asking him, hey, what's your name? How you doing? I'm Mike. This is Steve. We buy houses. What house are you looking for? Oh, you like multi, you like single, you want this, you want that. And we put them on our list. And this is one that we met at one of our properties in Pittston that we sold in 1 hour. And they reached out to us because they bought this property, which they should never have bought this property. And actually, we sold it for them.
Now, what's not in these pictures, because as a good realtor, I would never show you this.
The foundation?
The foundation's half missing.
Yeah.
It has no parking. It can never have parking.
The
It's
neighborhood
in-
wants it out.
Not the most dry community. Has some technical threat of flood zone.
And Mike and I told this woman that we wouldn't give her $25 for it.
Now, this house has been bought a few times, though, right, Steve?
I used to own around the corner from this house. I bought in 2008. I sold in 2016. It's looked like this the entire time I've known that neighborhood.
Yep.
Now, it's a neighborhood that'll rent in a heartbeat. It'll probably sell. The investor's going to do very well. But
Yes,
it is
he's
one of
doing
those
very
houses
well,
that
but he's dropping a lot of money in here.
right. And this one is going to be a property that's almost impossible for us to put a number on renovations because I can't give you a number of what the foundation work is going to be.
Actually, Steve, those are good pictures.
So-
That's not what it looks like now. That says 2013, actually, on that. Yeah, so just add 10 years to that.
Yeah, imagine what 10 years looks like.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah, they were cutting the vines down when we went there and looked at it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
I mean,
it's old. She got.
Yeah,
I'm-
Steve.
I'm-
I mean, that's
I'm
estimated
happy.
pretty
I'm
accurate,
happy for her. I'm happy. Yeah, she's.
and we can't ever compete with an MLS listing because all the agent is promising is to advertise the property. We're promising to buy it. So we have to be sure we can do so. Or at least fairly sure we would. So just to recap for everybody, because I know we've been on for a while. Right now, your only assignment for next week, get yourself Google Voice phone numbers or something like it. Get yourself Facebook, blah, 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 blah.
Build a
and
business page.
A business page, yeah. And
Yeah.
start to
Start
prepare,
marketing
if
yourself.
not do, letting your circle that you are part of a great team with lots of experience in real estate. And if they have property they want to talk about, contact you.
Right. And another thing is if some of you don't know anything like graphic design or marketing, I know this may be your first time for marketing for a lot of you. If you need some help with that, we have a bunch of already pre-built flyers that we can edit, put your name on, whatever it may be, anything that you need. So we can help you out in that way to make it a little bit quicker for you. And just any questions in general, because we do it all the time. And so do Mike and Steve. So it's
We
not
want you.
something-
We want them to succeed anyway.
Exactly.
We want you to go find properties because we're all make money,
Exactly.
right? We want you. That's why. Just do step one. Start telling people you're doing it. Go get a Google phone number because I think Google's free, right, Steve?
Yeah, Google phone number is free. I have
Yeah.
one.
So get a Google phone number. It's free. You download the app in
Google's
your
free.
phone,
Yeah.
and then you'll have you'll know. Oh, this is my business tone. Okay, hey, buying houses. So I always say buying houses. I don't say we buy homes for cash and all that. I say buying houses. This is Mike. How can I help you? Because I used to just say hello. This is Mike, and someone would hang up. When I say buying houses, for some reason, people then say, "Oh, I was calling because I have a house for sale." Because these people are scared. When they call you, They're scared because they're not paying their bills. The house is falling apart. There's something distress going on in their life, and they're waiting to the last minute to like, I got to do something now, right?
Right.
And
And that
and
shows
so-
more motivation from them, which is
yes, when they call, when my phone rings, I love it because, I mean, it's a good thing because these people are reaching out to me.
Yeah, that's a big part of it is obviously we say and drill into your guys' heads that you want to find a motivated seller. There is no better way to find a motivated seller than marketing yourself and having them reach out to you. If they're taking the initiative to reach out to you, that's already halfway through what they need to do to actually get you within that deal.
So what the most important thing is, your phone rings, you answer it.
Every time.
If you don't answer it, they're going to say to their wife or husband, "Hey, I called them. They didn't pick up." And that's it. They're on to the next, right?
Yeah.
So I pick up. Now this is your first phone call. It rings. You're like, "Holy shit, what do I do?" Just pick it up. Buying homes. This is Chandler. This is Steve. This is Mike, whatever. How you doing? Oh, great. Now you're a little bit nervous, right? You don't know how to handle the call. Say, listen, I'm in the middle of looking at a property right now. Can I call you right back at this number? Yes, right? Perfect. Get their name, and then you could call me, Steve, Chandler, and we'll get on a three-way and we'll call.
Yep.
So you don't have to,
And
because it's scary. I understand it's scary at first because you really don't know what to ask them. And I'm going to write up a sheet for you, some questions you need to ask. Right? That's the same form that Steve is going to give you guys that you fill in.
Yep.
Right? Hey, what year, what's going on with the house? I always just say, how you doing, sir? Tell me about because they'll say, do you buy houses? Yes, I buy them all. I buy everything. Yes, I buy houses. So tell me about your property. What's going on? And then just let them talk. You're listening. You're listening to their situation. Yep. And while you're listening to that situation, we're trying to figure out, okay, are we buying this from them? Maybe he wants owner finance us. Can we subject to, meaning we're going to take over their mortgage? There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Right. Always let them talk. I mean, the more you let them talk, the more they're going to just.
But like I said, when that first phone rings and you see that Google number come up and you're like, oh my God, you got to answer it. Right. And sometimes it'll be a guy that says, hey, you buy houses? I'm like, yeah, Well, I'm a wholesaler. It'll be another wholesaler looking, because other wholesalers going to call you and they're going to want to know, do you buy houses? And then say, hey, you should just join our network. That's what you got to tell them. But give them our number. So it really does work. If you say, hey, listen, sir, can I have your name, please? Okay, great. Can I call you back in about 5-10 minutes? I'm just finishing up here looking at another house, right? They'll say, okay, that's great. My name is George. Call me back. Okay, great. I'll call you right back, George. Thank you. You hang up. Now we're going to call them and you're going to feel a lot more in control, right? It's just about the whole control thing. Now you're calling them. Hey, George, how you doing? This is Mike again. I'm just calling about your house. So tell me about your house. And now you're in control of the conversation, but you're going to be on the phone with one of us, me, Steve, Grant, Chandler, whatever. And, and you'll say, hey, how you doing here? I'm on the phone with my partner, Mike. Hey, how you doing? Hey, great. So tell us about, and I'll take over and you're going to listen and you're going to start writing notes and you're going to hear how we talk to this guy. Great. When can I look at your house? Oh, well, maybe tomorrow, whatever. And then all of a sudden we're in their house and now we're looking. So then we're going to go down and look at this house all together. So we're going to walk you through all the steps. Really cool thing. And, that's how we're going to do it. I don't know if that helped anybody. I know I'm rambling.
Well, and the important thing is on that first conversation, if they call you, you talk to them before we've done our research,
you address.
Keep it simple.
Yes. Where's your house?
Keep it simple, keep it friendly, and let them babble. Any of you who watched the old movie with Joe Pesci, The Super?
Steve, they're too young.
I know, but death, destruction, divorce, you want to let them tell us their sob story. That's where you want to be. The other thing you want to do when you're asking them the questionnaire, which is, you'll get that in a little bit. Well, when did you renovate the bathroom? Oh, well, not too long ago. They'll think 30 years wasn't 2 years too long ago. So ask who was president or something. Get some order of magnitude.
Yeah.
I had a seller last week tell me the roof's not too old. Well, when did you do it? My youngest child was born. That was 1978. Okay, the roof's a little old. And we don't do the in-depth phone call until we've done our research, if at all, Paul.
Yes. That's why, like to just get back to that phone call, you're asking, can I call you right back? Hey, just real quick, where's this, what kind of property are you selling? Single family, multifamily. You could ask a quick little question or two, Great. What town? I just want to make sure I'm in the right, I buy in that town. And I just do that just to figure out, can I have the address? And they'll give it to you,
Yeah.
Some might not, I don't know, but that's fine. Okay, no problem. We'll call you right back in 5 minutes and we'll get the address.
Yep.
And as they're talking to us, me and Steve are usually on our computer. As he's telling the address, we're typing it up right away. We're already running the comp as we're talking, asking more questions.
And that's the reason there's 5 of us in this group on the training side, on the teacher side, because turning around to calling those opportunities is as fast as possible.
Yep.
One of the realities is there's too many wholesalers, and they've called you. If you tell them you'll call back in an hour and you don't, they're to the next person.
Yeah. And really, like, Steve's been around me, like, so I'll get a message at, I don't care, at 5 a.m. I'm calling you at 6 a.m. Hey, because I know they're up. They just messaged me, Yeah. Listen, I think, Steve, we should wrap this up because with all the technical difficulties we had, and I promise next week it'll look a lot better. We'll figure out the handwriting and the boards, and we'll have a lot other stuff. I apologize, Steve. You did a great job. I thank you, Steve.
Yeah, we're still getting it figured out, but real quick, we mentioned tax sales. We will cover this separately. It's a complicated area. But for those in Pennsylvania, as soon as their name is on the upset list, which is published, newspaper, website, whatever, we know they're in trouble. We can reach out to them. So if you are someone who sees the tax sale list in your area, grab one. We'll talk about it in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
All right. So if you haven't filled out our form to sign up with the group, please do so, because that's how we'll send you the joint venture agreements. If you've gotten your form, your JV contract, please fill it out and sign it and get it back to us. Get your Google Voice number, get your business pages set up.
Yeah, make sure to market yourself and obviously do some research as well. It doesn't hurt to know more.
Yeah,
Yep.
remember that sign-up form on that flyer that we sent out originally? I know some people weren't able to figure that out, but it's on there.
And
Perfect.
start in your local area.
Start telling everybody. Yes. Don't go to Tennessee. Ask your neighbors, tell your friends, your family, local.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit easier to learn initially in your backyard.
But once we get a deal and we start walking you through it, you're going to see how easy it is.
Yep.
It's the legal stuff that you got to worry about, the closings and all that stuff. And we're going to get through all that. And next week, we promise we will have everything running a lot better. How do I sign up? Who did that?
Hang on a second. Let me get you that link.
That's Brandon. Steve's getting the link. But we're gonna email everyone. We have
right now.
Okay, we have everyone's email anyway. If we don't, make sure you put your email. Message us.
All right, I'm putting it in the Yahoo chat or the YouTube chat right now.
Mike, I know we have an recn.us address for this. I just forget what it is.
Yeah, and Team 6, we already have all y'all's emails and contacts and everything, but I still sent that flyer about a week ago or a week or two ago.
Yeah,
I know
if
y'all saw it,
if
but
you,
signed up
if,
already go ahead and do that. Just so everybody has your contacts.
yeah, and Chandler, if you just want to send over their emails, I can blast them out to everybody.
Okay, yeah, I'll just do that then.
And I'm just about to put it in the YouTube chat as soon as it comes live for me. Learnrealestate.recn.us. Everybody get that? Learn real estate.
And where did you send that in, Steve? Is that in the?
Steve, are you able to put in comments? It's a little blurry.
Yep. Everybody see it? I just put it in the YouTube chat. Come on. All right. I'm just going to type it on the whiteboard. Learn real estate. .recn.us. Okay, I just blipped that out. Never mind. Learn real estate.recn.us. It's in the live YouTube chat box. Does everyone see it?
Yeah, guys, feel free to text in the chat and let us know if you got it, just so we could see if everybody has it or not.
Looks like Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon's got it. Thank you for letting us know, Brandon. Appreciate it.
It's real tough to broadcast and what's coming back. All right, I think that's it, guys. We probably exhausted everybody at this point.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. Next week we'll try to shorten it up a little bit.
Next week gets a lot simpler because we're not going through basic stuff. The entire focus of next week is marketing tools and techniques, how to reach out to people, and walk you through what happens when you get that first lead or you find that driving for dollars property. So a lot of this is general stuff. Next week is marketing and using the forms.
Right. And don't get nervous. You can ask us as many questions as you need. Like you said earlier, we're going to hold your hand through it initially until you get used to it.
All right, I think One more thing is just, make sure to market yourself and let everybody know what you're doing. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Those are the two big things. So just practice and let us know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. And then other than that, I think we're good. Steve, you still in here? More technical difficulties.
There it is.
There it is.
No, I switched modes to get the forums up, and I didn't realize when I switched modes it shut me down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were paused for a minute there.
Yeah. Yeah. So next week I just need to have I have 2 more computers laid out here to get everything out. All right.
Should be good. Yeah, next week we're going to start really digging in, guys. So make sure right now you're getting that general knowledge down. Don't be afraid. Watch some YouTube videos on, obviously looking at house flipping. Just get familiar with some markets in your area. And obviously everything else that Steve's sending out to you guys. Make sure you fill out all the forms and everything and market your guys, market yourselves and use your Facebook group chats, whatever it may be. Just try and be as proactive as possible with it because that's only going to put you in a better place.
And the last link to be aware of is youtube.recn.us. That is where our videos of the lives are going to go. We'll email everybody with the different links shortly after this call. So you'll know where to go to see our live videos, where to go to see our other videos we make, etc. So watch for an email in the next hour, and we'll go from there.
Right.
Sounds good.
One last thing real quick. This is for Team 6 because I know y'all are already on here. I sent y'all that survey, so fill that out for me. And then, I think we're all good.
Should be it.
All right, guys. See you next week, 7:30.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Appreciate your patience.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks. Bye-bye.